How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Shadows Over Loathing. We're at Captain Dirch's house, I believe was his name, the last surviving member of the Poor Quad. He has these urns. We're trying to collect the urn for the cathedral. Everyone should remember what was going on. You probably just watched the last episode a second ago. I don't need to remind you. The old gray bearded man in the sea captain's hat is glaring at you suspiciously. What do you want? Well, I'm from the Ocean City Watchful Eye. You know, the newspaper. Don't trust newspaper, nor newspaper reporters, neither. Well, nor otters. Unfortunately, I'm only one of those three things. Can I ask you about the Poor Quad? Ain't nothing to say. Storm blew up unexpected. We hit a funny rock, all hands lost. That was decades ago. Why are you bothering me now? Well, it's a slow news day. What was funny about the rock? How many men were in your crew? There was Pegleg, Handsome Jeff, Less Handsome Jeff, and old Barnacle Face. Not Fifth Sailor. He looks askance at the row of urns. And the other one. So 5. Okay. What was the Fifth Sailor's name? I ain't recall. He was new. Just signed on afore that last voyage. Don't talk much. Eerie fella, to be honest. Eerie? Spooky. And that's all I gotta say about him. What was funny about the rock? You ever see a 40-foot black basalt obelisk sticking straight up out of the ocean? Can't say I have. Me neither. And I'd be sailing that route for years. So I guess when you say funny, you didn't mean ha-ha? What's with the rocks in your front yard? I ain't know nothing about those, except for the date marker I put. Did they just come with the house? New one pops up every once in a while. What's that got to do with anything? Well, nothing, I guess. You have a lot of urns. Crew's bodies washed ashore after a time. Didn't figure they'd want a sea burial after what happened, so I had them cremated. Well, except? The fifth feller weren't never around. I ain't recall how that urn got there. He was a member of the crew, right and proper though, so he got as much right to be here as any of them. Did you ever visit that little cathedral? Sure. Used to go and pay my respects once in a while, back before my knee started acting up. Got plenty of urns to talk to right here though, huh? You talk to the urns? Yep. Shoot the breeze, relive old glories and such. You say that like they talk back. Well, they do. And I can see from your face that you don't believe me. So you can ask them yourself, landlubber. I guess I'll have a chat with your urns then. Fine, but if you got any more questions for me, ask them now. I'm tired of all this chit-chat. I'm done asking questions, thanks. I can go ask around. Alright, I guess I got some line of questioning to open up here. Talk to Pegleg Johnny. The urn doesn't respond. Anybody there? Imitate the captain's voice. You look around to make sure the captain is asleep, then mutter gruffly to the urn. Yar there, Johnny. Ye can speak freely now, sailor. I got rid of that no-good landlubber. A muffled, youthful-sounding voice replies. Yar, Captain. What did you want, anyhow? Bah, nothing of import. Your basic landlubber prattle, trying to sell newspapers and like that. Pay it, no, never mind. Aye, Captain. Keep talking to the urn. So, how are things? Oh, no problems, Captain. Everything's shipshape, ha ha. Always happy to chew the sea biscuit with you, though. Sure, let's, reminisce about old times. Great. I love hearing your stories of nautical adventure. Oh, instead of that, why don't you tell me how you got the name Pegleg Johnny? Well, it's because of my leg, right? Got a peg leg? Sure. How'd you get it? I got it because I lost the original leg. I'd assume so, yeah. Yar. But how? Wait, weren't you there when it happened? Time for my nap. Talk to you later. The handsome Jeff. So, how ye be doing thar, handsome Jeff? Oh, smooth sailing, Cap'n. You feel like talking over old times? Sure, I mean, yar, why not? Right then, which particular yarn from my past have you... What the fucking voice am I doing? What particular yarn from my past have ye got in your mind? Oh, actually, let's talk about you. Me. The fella next to you is less handsome, Jeff, aye? So is this judgment of your relative appearances literal? Or is it more of an ironic reversal sort of deal, yar? Like naming a big guy tiny? Well, you never... Wait a minute. Don't you remember what we actually look like? Oh, yes, of course I do. Gotta go, bye. Someone will give up the goods here. Spill the tea. I'm guessing number 5. Anything on your mind, Cap'n? Well, like what? Or, I don't know, just if you wanted to wax nostalgic about old times or anything. Oh, alright. Right, so, yar. Yar, so, oh, right, those old times, right? Sure, right you are, Cap'n. Those old times we had together. Yar, we sure did, many of them. Yar, anyway, glad we had this talk. So much embarrassment, barnacle face. Everything going all right? Aye, Captain, nary a cloud in the sky. Good, great. Are ye in a chatting mood? Sure, yar. Well, you know me, Cap'n. A man of few words and all. Happy to listen, though. Right, well, actually, I was wondering about your name there, thar. There, thar. But Barnacle Face, well, what about it? Well, I was wondering, why, I mean, of course I know why, but, if you have any insight in, you've never actually said, that is, you've never asked before, so I'd have thought you already... Right, yeah, obviously, anyway, if you're not comfortable discussing it, it's fine. Okay, yeah, good, yar. So we're just not gonna get into that one. And 5th, Sailor. So, Sailor, how goes it? I'd ask what's new, but, you're not a talkative one, are you, matey? I suppose you never were, come to that. So, as you were then, I could use some smokes, Cap'n. What? Smokes, let's go, Trevor Corey. Smokes as in cigarettes? Aye. What does an urn want with cigarettes? Well, alright then. Just leave them on the table like usual, please. What the heck's up with that? Get the albatross out of here. He mutters. Well, what do you think, Molly? We got something we gotta do about any of this? Will this show up on my to-do list? Find cigarettes for the restless spirit. I don't know remotely where I would go finding something like that. I'm almost confident I don't currently have any. Well, shoot. I got no clue. Can I not leave? What the heck? There we go. I was clicking 1 pixel out of the wrong location, it seems. Well, I could amble around randomly and hope I find maybe something like the hobo camp would have them. I think I'll go check the storefronts at Ocean City. On the side of a discarded hot dog in the gutter, I really had to reread that sentence to confirm, you notice a rare form of lichen. Wring it out. You squeeze the good grease out of the lichen while carefully avoiding the bad grease from the old hot dog. Sorted grease. You can tell this was used for something horrible. Ew, pretty gross. Maybe you would sell cigarettes, but I kind of don't think so. Yes, the ration cigarettes. There you go. Bad for you despite what the radio advertisements say. What do they do anything? Does that item have value? What happens if I smoke them? I'm not gonna let you start smoking, but I'm an adult. Yes, And I want you to live to be an old adult, but it'll make me look cool. Nothing is cooler than outliving your enemies. All right, fine. That's pretty damn funny. Okay. It was as straightforward as I hoped it would be. You see some super hardened sap oozing out of a wound in one of Ocean City's street trees. Snap up the sap. You chip off the hardest parts of sap. The hardest part is the chipping. Impenetrable shellac. Some shellac comes from insects, but if you don't know that, it can come from basically anywhere. I think I'm probably sitting at about 80 to 90 experience right now. 90. So close to having Mind over Munster, which I think I'm going to remain committed to. Well, didn't think this would be so easy to resolve, but yar there, sailor. Yar, captain, any word on those smokes? Oh, your smokes, right. Aren't you worried about getting the ashes mixed up? Yar? Just leave them on the table there, if you please, captain. Put the cigarettes here. You put them on a tray and quickly hatch a plan. Approaching the fifth urn, you put on Captain Dirch's voice again. Arr, matey, your smokes be upon the table as you wanted. Appreciate it, Captain. Then you hide behind the captain, who is snoring in his chair. After a time, the bookcase slides aside, and an unshaven, shifty-looking guy pokes his head out and glances around surreptitiously. Then, he tiptoes over to the table, picks up the pack of cigarettes, and returns to the secret door. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. The bookcase slides shut behind him. Well, what do you know? I think the captain probably knows nothing about any of that. Leave him to it. How goes it? Going fine. Thanks to the smokes. Sure thing. All dealt with. It's the shelf the guy came out from behind, or rather, the shelf out of which from behind of which camest that guy. That's much clearer. Thank you for putting that so plainly for me. You try to push the bookcase aside, but it's locked in place. There must be a catch. I mean, literally. Check. A nautical guide to Lieutenant Harbor, a seaman's manual for ropes and knots, and practical secret doors for the home handyman. I'll work my way down and get all the goofy jokes out. Nothing happens when you pull the book off the shelf, so you flip it open and page through it a little. However, since you aren't a sea captain, the notes and charts don't mean much to you, and none of them have any big black X's marking the site of buried treasure. Phooey. Oh wait, what's this? A little pamphlet stuffed in the back. How to curse like a sailor. Offhand item, this is a handy reference card for nautical profanity. Deal your moxie in sleaze damage to a foe once per fight. The Seaman's Manual of Ropes and Knots. Nothing happens when you pull the book off the shelf, so you flip it open, page through. As advertised, there's a thorough guide to the various kinds of ropes and knots used on ships, with lots of diagrams, although none of it is particularly useful to you personally. And they say never to judge a book by its cover. Practical secret doors. You tilt the book forward and nothing happens. So you pull the book all the way off the shelf and nothing happens. So you flip the book open and start rifling through the pages until you find one of the page corners turned down. A diagram on the page shows the 3 most common unobtrusive latch mechanisms for bookshelf-based secret doors, and on closer inspection, this bookcase is using the second one. Now you can open the secret door whenever you're ready. Oh, I'm ready. I don't think my Moxie's only 3. It's not that good. Wouldn't be that useful. So we will just push our way in. How's it going, random dude? You give a respectful salute to all these dead soldiers. Oh, do you know what? I've heard the phrase wounded soldiers before, that at like the end of a party, if someone abandoned a beer and it's half full or, you know, has a little bit left in it, they like put it down and forgot about it sort of thing. You're cleaning up the next day and you find them. Those are the wounded soldiers. I've never heard dead soldiers, but I guess empty bottles would be dead ones, if that's what we're going off of. Maybe this guy thinks it's treasure, but looks like trash to you. Quite the perspective flip. Hey, what are you doing? And were you seriously about to ask me what I'm doing here? Yeah, even as I was saying it, it sounded stupid. How did you find me? I hid and watched when you came out for your smokes. Oh, that was you, huh? I thought the captain's voice didn't quite sound right. I don't know, I think my impression was pretty flawless, considering that Grammy's voice and the captain's voice are both my own, so falling right in the middle of them, pretty easy for a guy like me. So what's the deal? Well, it's basically just what it looks like. It looks like you're hiding in this old man's house to rob him while he sleeps. In that case, it's not at all what it looks like. I'm listening. I'll admit, at first I was planning on robbing him. I figured an old sea captain must have a secret treasure, right? He wasn't a pirate. No, it turned out he's just a lonely old man with nobody to talk to, except, his old sailing buddies. So I started hanging out back here and chatting with him through the wall. He didn't find it strange? He was a little spooked at first, but once I'd gotten a handle on how the different voices should sound and learned enough to keep up with the anecdotes, he relaxed. It's nice to have someone to talk to, even if the situation is kind of weird, right? So, that's all? You do this just because you feel sorry for him? Well, yeah, I won't pretend I don't like having somewhere to stay rent-free, and his pension from the shipping company is pretty good, and his short-term memory is kinda bad, so he doesn't pay much attention to the fact that he's buying food for 2 people. He's a good guy, and it's an easy life. Don't screw it up for us, okay? Wait, what is it to you, anyway? I'm here about the stolen urn. Oh yeah, that was probably a mistake. He'd mentioned the 5th sailor a few times, so I thought he might like to have the whole crew together, So I lifted a random urn from that little cathedral to fill the spot. Seemed like a good idea at the time. The vicar needs it back, but then we could grab a spare urn, swap them out, maybe fill it with your cigarette ashes. Okay, it'll be weird if it just vanishes though. Can you swap it for another one? The captain doesn't open them, so he won't notice if there's no ashes in it. Fine, I'll see what I can do. For whatever reason, we can team up in this. What is going on that I can't click out of buildings? I had no problem with that before. Now all of a sudden it's like a recurring thing that I have difficulty with. We'll run back to St. Polycarp's. It seems like this whole odyssey of Polycarp's has very nicely fit across 2 episodes. Didn't expect that, but it seems like it'll be bookended, just like a secret bookcase. Well, this would be an unusual sight if you hadn't already seen it before. 4 Glocklins playing their glockenspiels and doing a dance. This time, I'll just jump straight to the fight, easy does it. See, the top row there, so top left, there's nothing, it goes to that Glocklin, then the second one, now it'll go to Nerdle, and then to me. So, that comes courtesy of someone who had been playing the game and came to realize how those patterns played out. And so thank you for passing that along for us to know better what is going on there. I will... You know what? I guess I probably should have attacked... It doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm going to kill one of these things regardless. I will attack you next. Put him down. And then, Molly, I will get you to focus on this guy 10 times now. It got slightly better. Oh, it's random. It's random. Okay, that does make sense. I think I've mostly used it when there's only been one thing to fight against. Dang, I did want her to focus fire that one and be rid of it. Whoops. That's fine. We'll be fine. Poor Nerdle. Just enough damage to do away with that. And same thing. Oh, right, you only recover the 1 AP. So yeah, I'll finish them off. And it won't quite be enough here, right? Yeah, reducing their muscle's not going to matter. It's fine. It'll be 1 shy, which is unfortunate, but it's not like they're going to kill anyone anyway. Bang! Poor Nerdle, but that went fairly well. You won! Whatever you have against traditional folk music, blah, blah, blah. I've seen that. The Glockenspiel necklace. My mouse is crapping out on me all of a sudden. It's like not tracking at all. There, it's back. Perfect for the heavily burdened music lover who doesn't have a hand free for a normal Glockenspiel. Ooh, if I had ranged weapons, that would be nice. The Birkenglocks instead of Birkenstocks. These are sandals made of birchwood with little glockenspiels where the soles should be. Improves the sound of your footsteps. And so there might not even be a silly walk attached to it. It might literally just be a sound. Like, let's play around with it. Yep, just a bunch of tunes to play along with that one. I believe I would like to swap back to the crabs. They were notably funnier. That's my preference. Well, I got this basically sorted for you. Although, maybe I don't have to talk to him. Maybe I just go down and deal with it. Not yet. Any minute. Don't worry, man. I'm on it. Don't sweat your pretty little head. It wouldn't hurt to take one. There's plenty in here so the vicar won't miss just one. Besides, you've earned it. I want to know what... it's... Where is it? I want to say... No, it's not Philly. What city is it? The United States has so many little sub-accents. Like, there's the most well-known ones, like the Southern Belle and things like that people can come to mind picture. Or, like, Minnesota. That's, like, an exaggerated Canadian accent in like, a weird way. But there's one where some of those sounds are so similar that there's a phrase that's like, Aaron, a person, Aaron earned an iron urn. And they'll say it as like, earn. And the video example of it is just phenomenal. Like, as the guy reads the sentence out loud, you can see in his brain, he's like, oh my god, do we actually sound like that? This urn is not yet cremaindered. Like, commandeered, cremaindered. It doesn't have remains added. That is like a nonsense word. And I mean independent of whether or not it's a real word. It is nonsense. It's like insane to wrap your brain around. I've already encountered this. I will just teach them and I'll claim my freebie experience. And that may have been enough. Yes, mysticality up, which is generally good, and extra health. I think I'm way better off with that. From there, I actually have no idea what I will attempt to aim for next. All of my other stats are kind of equal, so it doesn't really matter. Good. I feel like I'm in a good place with that, and we'll go from there. Maybe I swap the urn out first, actually. Replace the urn. There you go. Glance over to make sure he's sleeping, and definitely swap the urns. The urn of cremains. They were cremated remains, and that one hadn't been cremated yet, or whatever. It's ridiculous. An urn of ashes that was borrowed to play the part of one of the captain's old crew. The name plaque on it is too old and weathered to read. We actually managed to find one that looked the same, hey? There's water in his bedroll. He must also use it as a bath. Jeez. Can't go fishing in it, though, I guess. Did you switch out the fifth urn? I did. Great. So we're square then? Everything's Jake? Yeah, I suppose. Look, this is really shady and weird. You should just be honest with the guy. Yeah, I guess you're right. I gotta build up to it, though. If I just pop out of the bookshelf at him, he's liable to have a heart attack. Or try to kill me. Alright, well, good luck. You do whatever you gotta do, man. I've said my piece. I think you should resolve this for this poor man's sake. He's just gonna sleep it off. Can I talk to these urns? There's not much talking to them now that you know what's going on. I thought it would be pretty funny if he did, for whatever reason, choose to maintain the conversation with me. Just keep it going, just for funsies. You round a street corner and encounter woman in a welding mask using tightly focused magic. Oh, it's the car thing again. Pretty sure it's not your car. What if I say it is not my car? It's not my car. It ain't your business neither, so maybe I think it's the same response. Well, this time I'm going to fight him, I guess. Why not? Wrench smack. And there's just flying wrenches as well? That did very little damage. I honestly kind of expected a little more out of it. That was lame as can be. 1 to 3. It's a little bit randomized. Iron Stephanie, Nickel Molly. Well, I have the better Molly here. Honathan, the whirling wrench, and Staraham, the whirling wrench. I kind of think that those might be puns, but I don't know enough about wrenches to actually know that for sure. Okay, this is going to be an easy battle. I will do away with two of them right off the bat. How much health did these wrenches have? Very, very little. This is apparently like it would be a very early encounter, apparently. Oh, I had one more. Oh, scary. What are you up to, Nerdle? 9 defense. 9 health. Yeah, same difference. Good shooting. Concealing yourself behind a trash bin, you wait until the Tin Lizzies regain consciousness and limp away, and quietly tail them to a back alley chop shop that presumably is their gang hideout. Back alley chop shop is fun to say. Blubber lamp or back alley chop shop? Debatable. I'd like to hear your opinion. I'm not confident, actually. Oh, all stats. I will save it later. I'll push it down just like a push pop, and we'll get around to it. We've already cleared out the doughboys. We've stopped seeing them, so I think we got to clear them out. There's like the Glockins. There's all these different subgroups, and I think the idea is that when you go to their hideout, you like eliminate them and you stop seeing them. I think that's how it works. I can wrap this up. I did. Here you go. Wonderful. I'll get this polished and reinstalled right away. Blessings upon you, my child. In fact, let me make that blessing literal. I have some holy water of St. Polycarp here somewhere. Ah, here we go. He takes out a little bottle of water and splashes some on your forehead. Didn't like make the cross or anything, and just flicked it on there. St. Polycarp's forehead. Your forehead has been anointed with the blessing of St. Polycarp, the patron saint of bodybuilders. I wouldn't have guessed. +1 muscle, just permanently. That's pretty sweet. Ouch! That burns a little. Oh, because we're haunted. Say, whose ashes are in that urn anyway? Unfortunately, we don't know his name, but he was a sailor who washed ashore near here after a shipwreck. Some of the locals took him in, but he didn't survive the night, poor fella. He was interred here as an act of charity. Was that about 50 years ago, give or take? Oh no, it was more like 300 years ago. Ah, interesting. Damn, that would have been crazy if it was the exact guy. I don't know what's better, actually, the joke of it being the actual literal same guy, or the mystery of it being someone from far, far longer ago. Wow, do I ever have a lot of places that I can still head to if I want. A couple of black orbs. I'm ready to take them on. You can shadow bonk me all you want. I can take it. I'm prepared. Oh, all your stats are just, they went up by 1. And now they're at 2. I thought there had been further level ups that had happened between then. At least he heals for 2 now. He's healing for 1. While not fully useless, it was pretty damn useless. It was mostly useless, like it was close enough to being 100% useless that the difference is negligible. But I'm glad that he's not quite so garbage at this point. It's great. It's good for me. Happy to have that change made. Oh, he's growing again. Nerdle's a tank at this point. Unstoppable, just well and truly. There are still 4 more shops that I'll eventually be able to fill in. That's looking pretty good, honestly. I wouldn't have thought that it would be that many. Do you know it's something I don't think I've ever done? I thought about doing one episode and I forgot to follow up on it. I never really came back here to see if anything had really changed. What's shaking? You are, Dan. Yes, I am. Here's your cut of the profits. All right, I forgot that I can do that like now and again. Do I currently have anything? I don't. I don't have any potions or drinks on me or anything. So order a drink. I'll have a beer. Bottoms up. And max HP. Right, that's where I was getting the max HP bonus from. Alright. Sweet. 20 health. Way better off. Barnaby. He never has anything to say. What a useless bugger. Oh, it's the groundskeeper from Goldthwaite. What's she doing, man? Hey, remember me? Why, sure I do, bud. You saved my bacon the other day. Ah, don't mention it. How's the park doing? Well, great for now. For now? Yeah, I figure I got a couple weeks at least before the problems stack up insurmountably and it's time to go crazy again. You could just try and, you know, set a schedule and stay on top of things, but I was a groundskeeper for 1 day, so, you know, maybe I just don't know enough about it. Or maybe you're too close to it. Could be either. Oh yeah, and there's more in there. That one's maybe easier to forget. So maybe I'll make that one. Review notes. So glyphs to I could just say Ocean City and Speakeasy. That seems good. I'll run with that. Oh wait. Review notes. Crap, I did screw that up. Glyphs to Ocean City. Is it written with 1 or 2? I honestly don't remember. And Speakeasy. That seems good. Yes. Now close. Ocean City's 2 words. Whatever. Don't care. See what's in there? The poison dispensary. Hey, there was more stuff in there, so I've acquired more things. It's empty right now, but it does fill back up now and again. That is relatively good to know. I can't go that way still. Bouncer, nothing to talk about here. Don't bother him. He's busy bouncing. All right. Excellent. Well, that feels good to have kind of closed off some additional corners of this larger map. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Suggest me a video title, and I hope to see you again soon.